Heather thinks about copyright.
There's a protest raging in the online world, but if you aren't a digital freedom fighter, you might have missed it. An article appeared in The Verge recently about a data breach against a website called Reddit. Now, we read all the time about data breaches in the news, but this one was a bit different. The data breach took place in February of this year, but in June, Black Cat, a ransomware group, claimed responsibility for the hack, demanding $4.5 million in exchange for deletion of the data and our silence. The hack reportedly was done using an elaborate phishing scheme, including against Reddit employees. You know, the kind your company warns you against by making you watch videos by former hackers that are somehow simultaneously scary and boring. A ransom demand is par for the course for a data hack, but this communication claiming responsibility gave an unusual reason for the demand. Reddit has been described as the front page of the internet. Postings from users grouped into subreddits on specific topics. It's kind of like your Facebook feed without the pictures of grandchildren. For years, other apps have used the Reddit feed to populate their own products with content. This is done using application programming interfaces, or APIs. APIs define how one application communicates with another. Using the Reddit APIs, the developers automatically updated their own products with new content and automatically passed feedback like comments and upvotes back to Reddit. Many of the subreddits rely on exposure to other sites via APIs to sustain their communities. Historically, Reddit's API access has been free of charge. Of course, Reddit incurs hosting costs to allow other apps to ping its APIs, but in return, it gets a larger community. But on June 19th, 2023, Reddit cried uncle. It announced a new policy requiring large-scale users to pay for access to its APIs, effective on July 1st. That announcement said, Reddit needs to be a self-sustaining business, and to do that, we can no longer subsidize commercial entities that require large-scale data use. Reaction to this change was, well, a bit negative. Subreddit moderators, who are called mods, organized a strike in which over 8,000 subreddits went dark in protest for 48 hours. Independent app developers said the fees were too high and that they planned to shut down. The poster child for the developers is called Apollo, an extremely popular Reddit app for Apple devices. The mods who organized the strike called it Reddark. Think of it as a digital hunger strike. Reddark included 6 of the most popular subreddits on topics like gaming and food, all of which have over 30 million subscribers. In total, over 7,000 subreddits pledged to take part in the Reddark protest. Websites were even ginned up to track the sites going dark in real time. That brings us back to the data hack. It turns out that the hacker not only demanded money, but also for Reddit to make its APIs free again. And that's unusual, to say the least. The demand appeared to be an act of online activism as well as garden variety extortion. But the hacker also said it doesn't expect Reddit to pay, which makes the demand even more interesting. Was the hack just an attempt to damage Reddit, or was the money the real motivation at all? The hack was done before the API policy change announcement, so it's hard to tell. Offering free access to APIs is always a double-edged sword for an online business. Application developers who do that are at the mercy of businesses that manage the APIs. APIs can change or go dark or get expensive, and then the developer has to scramble to adjust or replace its technology or access to content. This goes back to an old saw in Silicon Valley about the difference between a product and a feature. Features exist at the mercy of their products. But in fact, many online businesses rely on data scraping or other kinds of free access, and some have done so quite successfully. Will Reddit pay the ransom or change its policy in response to the hacker demand? Probably not. Changes to API policy like this one are usually motivated by the company's investors who are balancing the economic costs and benefits of opening their APIs. Reddit has been considering an IPO for a while now, and doubtless the policy change was intended to shore up its attractiveness as an investment. I hope you enjoyed this tidbit. Liking and subscribing makes me think more. See you next time.
Heather thinks about copyright.